There's no fun, flashy intro. The MX-5 is the intro. I'm Jay. Steph's a little under the weather, and this is still modern motoring. Welcome to your 2022 Mazda MX-5. Unfortunately, Steph's feeling under the weather and she's not able to make it today, so it is just you and I. Yes, the top-up is for now. I promise I will take it down in a moment. Just wanted to go through the one big change right off the top with the 2022 MX-5, and that's Mazda's Kinematic Posture Control. What they've done is taken a vehicle that is world-renowned and handles incredibly well, and my take on it is they've added an exclamation point to it. So the short version is with the Kinematic Posture Control is when you're taking turns and corners and pretty much going in anything but a straight line, Mazda applies. My brain was going too fast for my mouth. Mazda has set it up so that it applies a little bit of braking on the inside rear wheel just to give you that added stability. So right now I'm on a slight bank going right. I'm not going nearly fast enough to notice it. It's still happening, and Mazda has sensors that monitor what the vehicle is doing and then applies the rear brake to the either right side or left side for the inside rear wheel. And I've noticed it at higher speeds because, well, that's what it's designed to do. And do they need to do it? I don't think so. I think the vehicle has handled incredibly well, specifically for this ND generation, which is the most current. But for those who want a little more out of their MX-5 without having to tune it or mod it or do any kind of upgrades to it, this is a great thing that Mazda's built in. And the interesting thing is Mazda says this has added exactly 0 weight to the vehicle, and the even balance of the distribution from front to rear is one of the big selling points for those who are looking for, I'm not going to say this is a performance car, although interestingly, this won the 2022 AJAC Performance Car of the Year, but it's a fun car, it's a roadster, it's just get in and go. So that's the big upgrade here for 2022. As I look for a place to pull over and retract the roof, nothing's changed as far as power goes. So it's still a 2-liter 4-cylinder engine, and it gets you your 181 horsepower, 151 pound-footed torque, and that number's pretty impressive considering the size and weight of the vehicle. I found a parking spot here. Now, before I go into the actual opening of the roof, you get a 6-speed manual or automatic transmission. It's rear-wheel drive, and it is just so much fun. All right, I'm going to open up the roof. One touch. There it goes. It's pretty fascinating how it actually works. Just the hardtop convertible. I've always been a fan of those as opposed to the soft tops. And all right, that's it. You heard the beep. So did I. Let's get ourselves back on the road here. I'm not saying anything new with the MX-5, and I've had one every single year that I've been doing this, and shout out Mazda for just always having this on the fleet. And it's not just one. Mazda puts on an automatic, they put on a manual, they put on a convertible, whether it's hardtop, soft top, for the past few years. And it's a fun car, and it doesn't really compete with anything. And just to draw back to the AJAC 2022 Performance Car of the Year, it was up against the Toyota 86 last year and the Toyota Supra, and those are completely different classes of vehicles. Sure, I think the 86, or GR86 as it's now called, could be a competitor, but there's nothing of this specific size and class, and it's really a unique vehicle. Either you love it for what it is, or you just don't really care about it. At least that's been my experience. Is this a practical car for everyday living? Of course not. The trunk is 145 liters of space, and it's a 2-seater. and you can't really do much with it. But would I buy one, and would I have one as a mostly driver, being someone who lives by himself, doesn't have any kids? Absolutely. This car would be great for me. It fits all my camera gear. I can fit a guitar, I can fit an amp. Not all my amps, but the ones that I use most often, it can definitely fit. And it's fun to run around in year-round. I have had these in the winter. No four-wheel drive / all-wheel drive, but with a proper set of winter tires, you can absolutely run this thing year-round. Appearance-wise, it's got that beautiful modern look, just nice long lines, nice sharp headlights, great taillights as far as framing the vehicle. Because to me, headlights and taillights kind of like a nice accessory to the vehicle. It's not going to make it or break it, but it's important that it's done right. And the rims are the BBSs, and they look absolutely sharp. Roof up, roof down, the Miata looks absolutely wonderful. And yes, I call it a Miata. I know it's an MX-5, but it's just one of those things where I've always known it as a Miata, and then Mazda went out and changed all of the naming systems of their vehicles. So the Protege became the Mazda 3, the 626 became the Mazda 6, and anyways, onwards. Unsurprisingly, the ride quality isn't perfectly smooth. It's low to the ground, and it catches all the bumps and imperfections. Now, I purposely chose a road here that has some bumps. It's an industrial area, but it's not the greatest road, but I'm still having a wonderful time driving this with the top down at the end of September. Here's my hot take, and let me know if you agree or disagree. Either this generation or the next generation, which would be the NE, will be the last fully gasoline Mazda MX-5. It's too iconic of a vehicle for Mazda to leave behind. I just can't see them saying, you know what, with electrification, let's just leave the Miata behind, MX-5 behind. There's over 1 million of these in the world. It's known around the world. It's really the only one of its kind. It still sells. You still see them on the roads, mostly in summer and drier months. But I can't imagine why Mazda would make a decision to leave this behind for electrification. And with 2030 coming up, and that's an important year because a lot of the manufacturers have set that as they say hard target, but I think it's a loose target to either have 50, 75, 100, or some combination of percentage in between of their offerings be electrified. And some of them are saying by 2035 they're going to be fully electrified. So with that, I just can't see Mazda leaving one of their most important, if not their most important vehicle behind. That's going to wrap it up for the 2022 Mazda MX-5. Let us know if you have any questions on the vehicle, and we'll do our best to get you answers as soon as possible. We appreciate you watching. Feel free to join our community if you haven't already by subscribing. We're on all social media outlets, and we look forward to seeing you next time.